Okay.
Here's what it is. So I would come to you and say, Jay, I'm an investor. I'm looking to do this. After we've had a little bit of a conversation, you get to know me. We talk about the Rough Riders. We talk about the weather, talk about our families, get to understand. And I'm going to ask you a question is, Jay, what would be the best investment opportunity you have on your books right now and why? How would you answer that? Hey, everybody, Russell Westcott here. So on my YouTube channel a couple weeks ago, I released a video titled How to Find Off-Market Deals, finding the best, the cream of the crop investment opportunities that are off-market. So in this video, we're going to talk about how do you find a great real estate investor agent. And I had an in-depth conversation with my good friend, business partner, and my realtor, Mr. Jason Mattern. One of the things that I've come to realize is I've been very blessed over the years to have an amazing property source, somebody who hits the ground, somebody who finds amazing deals, amazing real estate investment opportunities, and presents them to me. In this video, I share with you one of my best questions that I use to help evaluate a real estate investment agent. And when I asked that question live on the spot with Jason, he had one of the best responses I have ever seen. So if you're interested in finding some of the best opportunities, if you're interested in finding a fantastic real estate investment agent and building a long-term relationship, pay attention to this video upcoming. Let's go. Today is going to be a little bit more what I would call maybe a little bit more on the getting started side of things. But guys, here's something really cool. You have two people here with, better part of 200 plus transactions, multi-million dollars of transactions we've done, 40 years of experience, give or take, between the two of us. And we're going to share with you some insights on some getting started topics and then also some deeper topics. And we're just going to go back and forth and we're just going to hash out a couple topics. Are you game for that, Jay?
Yeah, sounds good. Yep. You haven't enlightened me on the topics yet, so you know what? Let's roll with it.
Oh, well, so you're telling me I'm not prepared? Is that what you're saying, Jay? I just heard that very clearly.
I'm saying I might not be prepared. Yeah, I'm sure you're very prepared, but you know what? It's going to be, as always, based on experience, and I think just the real deal, right? It's we've always said we're in a different position. It's not about us. We can really help people. Or if we can help people save some of those lumps that we took, Russ.
Yeah.
And I know I took some lumps. I know you took some lumps, but it's made us who we are today, right? It's all good.
Absolutely. Okay, so for this first one, Jay, I'm going to go first. I'm going to let the question in. Now, I'm going to call this one, I'm not going to call it a softball question for you, but this will actually be a very difficult question for you because, you are a realtor and you've been a realtor for pretty well your entire real estate investing career. The first question I'm going to ask is, what are some tips and some strategies for real estate investors to find a good real estate agent or a realtor? Okay. I'm going to dive in first and then we'll banter this back and forth. Now, some of you might be you guys going, well, geez, what a softball question to ask of a realtor and stuff but this could be Jason, you're going to put your hat on as a real estate investor looking for a good realtor or a real estate agent. First of all, first question, I'm going to just ask you this, Jay. What's the difference between an agent and a realtor? What is the difference when people use those terms interchangeably?
Nothing really. A real estate agent and a realtor is a licensed individual, licensed to trade in real estate. Yeah. We used to be called real estate agents years ago, and then they've coined the term now associates. Real estate agent, realtor. To me, it's kind of all the same file, right?
Okay.
We're trading in real estate.
Yeah. So it's realtor. It's not realtor.
Not a realtor. Yeah, we hear that lots, and you know what? At the end of the day, it's okay. My own parents call me that, so it's and I'm not going to correct anyone. It's all good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you call them Jay.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's about the relationship. Okay, so I'm going to go first. I'm going to say a tip to find a good real estate agent is one that has to be enthusiastic to work with real estate investors. Now, hear me out for a second. Not all real estate agents have an appetite to work with real estate investors. It's a very unique, it's a unicorn. It's a rare breed of some real estate agents that like to work with investors. As a matter of fact, some agents absolutely, when you come in the door and you say, I'm an investor, they just say, okay. Down the street is where you want to go talk to that person down there. So the first thing I would say is the real estate agent needs to be enthusiastic to want to work with investors. Your turn, brother.
Okay, I'll build off that. Yes, you have to be enthusiastic. This is I guess, a craft, for lack of better terms, of being able to, handle a transaction for a real estate investor, because the transaction for a real estate investor versus someone moving into it is different. Not so much the transaction itself, Russ, of when we get to an offer and negotiation and back. That's very similar, but it's the lead up to it. It's the information that an investor needs versus someone that's moving into a home to live in it as a personal residence. And let's face it, real estate investors, it's all business. It's all about the numbers and, setting people up, for success for the long term.
Yeah. So I would say that they need to be an expert in essence. So enthusiastic. Another word starts with E is they need to probably be an expert. They need to know what they're talking about when understanding the language of for a real estate investor, don't they?
Well, and that's on two sides of the fence. So understanding, the language for the investor, but there's one key ingredient here, Russ, that is going to make this work for a real estate investor, and that's called, a customer, or better known as the tenant. So the whole, the tenant market and the rental market and, the tenant profiles that live in these types of properties, you need to almost be an expert in that as well. You need to understand it. Again, what our customer, our tenant, that's going to be paying us rent, and in some cases, $2,000 a month. They're giving you $24,000 a year. So you've got to understand what these people want, in their homes, and understand their budget, and I guess the family profile that lives within that. So
Yeah.
there's just so much more than, like I say, looking at a property and, but at the end of the day, I'll sum it up as this: it's the information of being able to find the information for an investor. So if I can circle back to your original question, how do you find that? I'll just throw some questions out there. Some, that if I was looking in a different market other than Edmonton for a realtor, I would ask them what they own. How many properties do you own? And what type of properties do you own? And I would ask, why do you own those types of properties?
Yeah.
I would ask what your tenants are, and is that the actual tenant profile that you tried to achieve when you bought the property, or is this you kind of bought the property and ended up with this tenant profile and have had to make that work? And then I guess on the economic side, the fundamental side is just understanding the overall housing market, the job market, and being involved with planning and development in municipalities of, transportation changes. What is the municipality planning for? Maybe any density changes and maybe any bylaws that will affect construction or parking or, being able to increase density in actual properties. These are living, breathing things that happen to us, in Edmonton here, have happened to us quite a bit.
Yeah.
In the last 24 months.
So we're just throwing out some gold nuggets here, Jay. We've talked about, so everything's starting with the letter E. We're talking about that they have to be enthusiastic to work with investors. They have to be experts at working with investment grade property. And they also have to have the experience of wanting to work with investors. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a golden tip. And Jay, I'm actually, let's try this one on. I'm actually going to, this is one of what I call my golden question when I come and I ask a good agent to test them a little bit. And I'm going to try this on you, Jay, to see how you would do. Okay. So no pressure.
Okay.
Here's what it is. So I would come to you and say, Jay, I'm an investor. I'm looking to do this. After we've had a little bit of a conversation, you get to know me. We talk about the Rough Riders. We talk about the weather, talk about our families, get to understand. And I'm going to ask you a question is, Jay, what would be the best investment opportunity you have on your books right now and why? How would you answer that? Now, time out, guys. Before you answer that, Jay, what I just did was give you a powerful question to ask to see how this person's going to answer it, because you can tell very clearly if the person is a real estate investment expert by the way they kind of handle this question. So,
okay.
Jay?
Well, great segue, Russ. Thank you. And that's a good stiff question. And I think, I would probably turn that around and comment and ask you a question right back, because the best deal is different for everybody. And if I can throw you maybe the best deal that I think is on the table right now, that might not be what you would consider a best deal. So I would turn around and ask you, what's more important to you as far as either cash flow or capital appreciation. I would also ask you, how much time do you have to take care of this investment, and try and understand, I guess, and line those two dots up with, the performance measures, your budget, and then make sure that that deal will fit into what you're trying to achieve and also fit into your lifestyle. Once I have those three answers, I can throw deals at you all day long. But until I have those three answers, I'm just going to be sending you, deals that you may or may not like. And let's face it, time is valuable. And I think as we're all getting a little bit older, the time becomes more valuable. So we want to work efficiently.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it's about helping people get what they want. So if they're willing to share that, like I say, we can traditionally throw deals at them all day long.
Yeah. Wow. So guys, what Jay just demonstrated for you in real time, and we did not rehearse this in one way, shape, or form, although we do know each other and we do talk every day. What Jay just demonstrated for you is a real estate agent that cares about the relationship more than just doing a transaction, right? In essence, that's what you just did. Is you want to make sure you fit the right investment asset with the right person, not just transact another property. Because like you said, it was just golden that I could send you all this kind of stuff, but that would be my lenses and my filters of what I think is great. But it's not what you're looking for. If you're looking for your first home, or you're looking for, 192 unit apartment building, and I threw you the wrong opportunity, your first response for me would be, well, this guy just doesn't understand who I am, and he's out to lunch, right?
Yeah. Well, let me give you just a real quick example on that of two scenarios where this might apply. Is when I talk with real estate investors, daily, and sometimes several times a day, but if someone comes in, and here's two live examples. The first person comes in and they say, Jason, look at, we'd like to buy real estate where would like to move into the Edmonton marketplace. We've got this much capital I would like to, invest with, and we're taking it off a secured line of credit of our personal residence. We would like the ability for the property to be able to cover the interest cost on a secured line of credit if possible. And you know what? It'd even be great if we could even have some cash flow on top of that. Okay, great. Point taken. Now we need to find a property that is going to produce a little bit more cash flow. These people are going to hire a property manager. I had a call earlier this week with a gentleman from Toronto as well, that he said, look, I'd want zero headache. This is a long-term play for me. I'm in my early 30s right now. I've got a couple $100,000 that I'm looking to invest. It has to be completely hands-off with zero headache. I do not need the cash flow. I'm working. I make a good living. I'm after the long-term security of a real estate asset. Great. That just absolutely tells me right there the property class, or the property type, if you will, that will be most beneficial for these people. It'll also fit their budget, and it's going to fit their lifestyle, and it's going to be a real treat for them to own.
Yeah. Now, one of the reasons why this question came up that I wanted to address this is, and sometimes I have to take it maybe I'm taking it for granted on how lucky I've been right from the very beginning, on how I had an amazing realtor that provides me amazing properties right from day one. And it came out, I was having a conversation with this guy, and he was talking about, I'm struggling to find deals. I'm struggling to find properties. I'm struggling to this. I'm struggling to find this opportunity. And I said, well, why don't you just contact your realtor? That's their job, to go out and find you deals. And he goes, I have realtors and they don't come back with any deals. And I go, well, isn't that their job? And then I had to stop and go back and sit there and I go, maybe I've taken it for granted that I've just been very lucky and blessed that I have an amazing realtor that just sends me deals, right? Like, for example, after we've gotten to know each other and you know what I like and you know the type of investment criteria I have, what's your response, Jay, usually when I come to you and I say, Jay, I'm ready to acquire another property, got some capital partners lined up, I'm ready to go. What's your response typically?
How much capital and how soon do you want it? And how many?
Yeah, how many and how soon, right? Yeah. That's what I want to have as a response from my realtor. I want to have enthusiasm. I want to have as an expert. I want to know that he understands me, right? So if we were really to just recap it, right, guys, again, they have to be enthusiastic to work with realtors or with investors. They have to be an expert at investment grade properties as well. Not somebody who's maybe done 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. Not that there's anything wrong, right? Somebody who's hungry is good too. They have to have experience, many years in the business to know the good, the bad, and the ugly about what's going on and what areas to avoid. Like when there's areas that wouldn't touch with the 10-foot pole. How do we know that? Because we've been in those areas and we understand the tenant profiles. And they have to understand, and most important, they have to understand your needs and want to build a relationship. Anything else we want to add to that question, Jay?
No, I think that's pretty good, Russ. I think at the end of the day, I've always said it's always about the relationship. And the way I look at it, and not saying other realtors don't, but it's my job is exactly that, to sit and listen and understand what you want and help you get it. And part of that is finding deals, and part of that is qualifying those deals. And a lot of that is actually getting the information that an investor needs for them to make an informed decision. I'm not the one making a decision, right? And like I say, if we can spend a little bit of time up front and understand what an investor is after, it really makes it easy for us to go and find that. And the closing note on that is just to make sure that it's going to fit long term. Not only the tenant profile, but make sure the property fits. Because you've heard me say it 100 times. This is the fun, easy part of going out and looking at deals and the buying part. It's fun. It really is. It's fun, and it's exciting. But there's going to be a time in the near future where we're going to hand you or your property manager a set of keys, and that's where that experienced realtor I've known to look for, the separate entrances and the extra parking and making sure there's no fire hydrant in front for eliminating parking. Just little details like that are really going to shine through on one's financial statement long term. And this is stuff that you cannot see on a pro forma. It's easy to create a pro forma and punt it out there and say, here's the numbers on it. But quite frankly, there's a lot, maybe that you can't see at time of acquisition that we should still be looking at.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So if you are interested in the Edmonton marketplace, what's the best place to get a hold of you, Jay, if you're interested?
I think the easiest is our website. The website is it's got all sorts of contact on there, but it's tryurban.com, and you know what? It's got a lot of great content on it. Yep. It's all investor focused, and it's coming from a real life, living, breathing perspective, right? Yep. So enjoy.
Well, what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the notes wherever you're watching this video or listening to it, for make it easy for you. Just click on the link and away you go, and you'll get over to get some information. So interesting. Jay wants to have a little bit of information from you before he has a conversation with you, right? So you're living, breathing exactly what you talk about, aren't you?
Well, it's movement of information, and typically, that initial meeting is 30 minutes, and if I can understand a little bit up front of where you're going and what you're trying to achieve, it just lets us maximize our time together. It's not that I'm trying to pry into your life one bit, and quite frankly, they're going to do what they want anyhow. But if they're willing to share a little bit, that'll allow me and the team on this side to really zero in and be in a position to help.
Right on. All right, guys, go get them. Hey, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in moving forward with velocity, if you're interested in being a successful real estate investor, only 2 simple next steps from here. Number 1, below where you're watching this, there will be an opportunity for you to subscribe. And over here will be a hand-selected video for you to keep moving forward. Continue your journey forward. Just click on over here for that hand-selected video for you, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much.